Cause they can get so bitter, sure you want to until you can turn back. You don't know where I've been.
Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to Stuff It, a bonus episode, kind of. It's really just a lot easier to talk about fantasy basketball than type about fantasy basketball. So I've got Alex Barutha joining me today. We're going to look at some news, the return of Trae Young. Obviously, the news came out yesterday that he would be returning for whatever reason. So we'll have a chat about that and then take any playoff-related questions or non-playoff if you aren't in the playoffs. A lot of people yesterday actually were in Roto League, so they had some questions about rest of season stuff. Alex, thanks. Very late notice. I messaged you as I went to bed last night and woke up to your positive response. So good to have you on the show.
Yeah, of course, man. Love being here. Ready to answer some questions for people who are about to enter their fantasy basketball playoffs. Personally, I play in a lot of Roto leagues, so I will do my best to give appropriate advice.
Are you in any fantasy playoffs at the moment?
I think in one Yahoo league I am. Yeah, okay. At one of our work leagues.
Yeah, so I think I said yesterday, 2 of my leagues have actually finished already, and then I'm in 3. How many of my Yahoo leagues are in the playoffs this week? I think maybe 3 of my 7. 3 or 4. 4 of my 7 leagues were in the playoffs. So I'm in the playoffs in all of them, so that's good. There's only one league I think that I'm in this season that I'm not going to make the playoffs in, and it was an Anthony Davis team. So that's sort of
what can you do?
I managed to sort of, I drafted him in a couple other leagues and managed to squeeze into playoffs, but yeah, in this one, no good. Let's start with Trae Young though. So he is coming back next week. We think they said 7 to 10 days, I believe is what they said. So early next week, maybe.
I think they said he's going to be back in 2 days.
Thursday this week. Thursday. Yeah, maybe it was Thursday. Okay, I don't know. Why am I thinking 7 to 10? Someone else is out for. Oh, maybe that I'm thinking of the Nuggets guys. Peyton Watson, Aaron Gordon, they were out. Okay, so Trae Young coming back Thursday. First of all, in all of my leagues, he's rostered. So I don't know if he would be available anywhere. If he is available, would you pick him up? What are the expectations here? I'm assuming he won't play back-to-backs. I mean, I don't even know if he sees out the whole season. What are your expectations, just generally speaking, for Trae Young?
I mean, I expect him to be treated like pretty much everybody else who plays for the Wizards. That is a potential winning player. In that they'll play 20 to, they probably won't cross 30 minutes. They'll be in the 20-ish minute range. That's what I expect from Trae Young. My assumption, like you said, no back-to-backs. Probably play like 2 out of every 3 games, something like that. In terms of like, would I pick him up? I think if you have to win your week this week, I don't think you can pick him up. You know, I wouldn't trust it necessarily. But if your league goes farther, or you don't necessarily need to win this week, or you don't need him, or you don't need somebody else to win your week, like I'm fine with him as like throw him in a spot you were previously using for streaming, kind of treat him as a luxury stash for the time being and see what they do with him.
Yeah, I mean, we know, obviously he's very proven. So 22 minutes of Trae Young can still be valuable. But as you sort of indicated there, he's not going to play more than that. None of the Wizards are really. And the injury report for tonight, they play tonight against the Magic. They've ruled out Tristan Vukcevic, Keyshawn George, Jameer Watkins, Anthony Gill is questionable. So
gotta make sure he's out there.
Yeah, that's right. So they're going to just continue to do exactly what they're doing. So obviously Trae Young has probably the highest upside of all of the players on Washington, but going to be hard to trust as a permanent asset, I think. All right, let's get into some of the questions. All right. Rick Ozeng, should I pick up Santi, Aldama, Crowder, and Watson? And Watson?
Is that your retirement? Are you in a big 3 league where Jay Crowder is playing or something?
Yeah, I'm not sure of the. Could it be someone else? I was trying to think. Has he missed
Coward
there? Coward,
could be Coward.
Maybe? Could be Coward. Let's hope it's not Crowder. And Watson from the waiver wire in a points league. Playoffs start next week. Aldama, and if we are treating this as Coward, both of those guys are questionable for tonight. Pretty sure they
a bunch of time. I mean, Aldama, I can't even remember the last time Aldama saw the court. I am pretty sure. I mean, we're talking about the Grizzlies, and we know the Grizzlies are always playing it close to the vest when it comes to injury reporting. They just string guys along. We see it with Morant. We saw it with Zach Edey. It's like, reevaluate in a month. And then after that, it's like, reevaluate it in 3 weeks. And then they never come back. I think it's more likely Coward comes back than Aldama, but I wouldn't bank on it necessarily. Like as someone like you have to rush out and pick him up.
No, I think Aldama, we talked about this yesterday. I think it's something like mid-January is the last time he played. So we're pushing 6-7 weeks that he's been out here. So yeah, I think Coward makes more sense in terms of coming back first. And actually sticking around. Watson due back middle of next week potentially, but there's going to be a bit of a. I mean, I know the Nuggets, they need all hands on deck at the moment. They won yesterday, but it certainly wasn't an impressive victory against a Utah team that's actively trying to lose. So, things in Denver aren't going super well. So they would love to have Watson and Aaron Gordon back. But these soft tissue injuries, we've seen teams all season have been really cautious with players returning. So I think all three of these players could have value in a points league, but actually having confidence that they're going to play 30 minutes a night, I don't really see that happening for a couple of weeks at least. So I think if Coward and Aldama are cleared to play tonight, you could grab them and see how they go, but I wouldn't be locked into them as permanent kind of. I'd treat them more as streamers at this point.
Yeah.
Okay, on a bye week, who would we drop from these players to pick up Trae Jones? DeAnthony Melton, Anthony Black, Neat Clifford, Precious Achua, Guy Santos, Casey Wallace, Olivier Maxence, Prosper, and a 4-punt build. So this is Hinny Mini is punting points, threes, assists, and free throws. So really targeting steals and sort of efficiency. And Trae Jones is relatively good in this kind of build. He does get you some steals. He doesn't shoot a lot, but he's typically quite efficient for a point guard. Black is questionable tonight to return.
Yeah, he's technically questionable, unlikely to play per Jamal Mosley.
Okay. All right. Okay. And who else have we got there? Clifford. I'd be holding Clifford. I think Clifford's role is relatively secure. Achua, sadly, his role is pretty secure. What do you think about Casey Wallace with the return of Shea? Obviously, he was really good there for about a week, and then he's gone back to sort of the Casey Wallace we saw to begin the season. But he does have, of all of these players, he probably has the highest upside in steals, which would be the one drawback. Olivier Maxence Prosper might be the other one. He's benefiting, but is it sustainable?
Yeah, those were the first two names on this list that I went to. You know, Wallace with SGA back. Eventually, J-Dub and AJ Mitchell are going to be healthy, and then it's going to be even less for him. And Omax Prosper, look, yeah, I mean, sustainability is the point, and you brought it up.
Mm.
You know, you want to take his past 9 games as a sample. He's shooting 63% from the field, 47% from 3 on 4 attempts a game when he had previously never shot 30%. To me, this is just like very fluky, pretty fake in terms of what he's doing.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we both agree it's probably Casey Wallace or Omax there that we would move on from. All right, hard decision to make. Playoffs start next week. Coward and Watson in IL. Who would we drop? So who would we prefer to hold on to of those two players?
I'd probably hold on to Watson just because I think the Nuggets will. We're getting more. First of all, we're getting more indications that he's likely to come back soon. Second of all, they're pretty motivated, I think, to play Watson 30-plus minutes a game. I don't think he's going to produce like he was when Jokic was out and stuff like that. You know, have some muted expectations, but I think I'd rather hold him than Coward.
Yeah, I think so. I just think the context here with what Denver are trying to do as opposed to what Memphis are trying to do or not trying to do. I would lean Watson there. Podziemski or Jarris Walker in a points league. Podziemski's been really good lately. Even last night he was okay on a pretty ordinary Warriors team. But Jarris Walker's been good now for, I feels like probably 4-6 weeks. He's been there thereabouts. I'd probably go with. I might go with Jarris Walker, only because I think Steph Curry will return it at some point, which is going to hurt Podziemski. Do you have a clear choice here?
I would go with Walker for that same reason. You mentioned it. Podziemski's been great, and I actually think, if your league ends within the next 2 weeks, you have Steph Curry, you probably drop him. I talked about this with Nick on the podcast yesterday. He's gonna be reevaluated in 10 days. If your league ends within 2 weeks, you just can't roster him. But if your league goes farther than that, like if your league goes into April or through the end of the season, there is that possibility that Steph comes back and then Podziemski's role gets cut a bit. So, and I don't think anybody's coming for Jarris Walker's job.
No, I don't think so. What's this one? This is more of a hypothetical, I suppose. Do we expect AD to play? I didn't expect Trae to play, so I'm not sure whether Anthony Davis plays, and would we stash him? I don't think he plays. What about you?
I'm not expecting him to play, but it's a totally fair question to ask because of the Trae situation. As always with these kinds of things, I generally advise people, like, if you're not doing anything with your IR spot, sure, like pick him up. Kind of no downside. If you have, if you have waiver limits and stuff like that you feel like you're going to hit, like don't do that. But in certain situations, it makes sense to pick him up.
Okay, we've got a long one here. I'm just reading it, seeing if we can get to it. Let's put it up and just read through it. 2 teams I'm worried about matchup wise for the playoffs are big men centric teams. I'm worried about how my team stacks up. Do you see any holes? Team below, and here's the team. I think we had this team yesterday potentially. 10-team league, 9 cat, punting, assists, threes, and sort of points. 2 big men centric teams. So I guess you're worried that you're going to lose to teams that have a lot of blocks, rebounds. Punting points. Look, I think that, the one name, if you're looking to just move someone or get off someone and maybe stream in kind of a big, like a Rob Williams or someone who might be able to help you with some blocks and field goal percentage, possibly Mathurin might be someone you could move on from there. His value really comes from points and threes, and it sounds like you don't necessarily need those. Kelly Oubre, he's out tonight, I think. Did I see that he's out?
I don't know, actually.
Yeah, he is. He's out with an illness. So not a long-term thing. So he might be someone you could move on from as well. What do you think about Mathurin and his time so far in Los Angeles? He had some good games, but he's sort of back to the old Benedict Mathurin now.
Yeah, I think we kind of know who he is, which is like, if he's going to play 30 minutes a game and you need points, you can pick him up, no question. If you don't need points, I don't think you have to roster him. He's just so one-dimensional. He can have a good rebounding game, so that's kind of been interesting. But yeah, I think you said it. If you're punting threes and you're punting like a soft punt on points, like I don't know how committed you need to be to like Kelly Oubre. You're still. I understand why you're rostering DeAndre Ayton. I'm not sure if that's entirely necessary. It's hard at this point in the season because like 95% of leagues, the trade deadline has happened, and you can't be like, I'll trade Mikal Bridges for a big man or something like that. But I think your team is solid overall. You're kind of getting hit by like Booker being out, like that's huge, and same with Peyton Watson.
Yeah. Booker's back tonight though, I think, so that'll help and open up another IL spot. As you said, DeAndre Ayton, on paper, he should fit your build. If you're punting points and threes, he should fit, but he just does nothing. So, he's a tough one. If it's looking like I'm going to win this week's playoff match, is it worth picking up Jalen Williams for next week? Drop would either be Potter, Larson, or Turner. Oh, Turner, your friend Miles Turner. If it's looking like you're going to win and it's Tuesday, you must have had a good Monday. Or maybe just you've had a look at the projected results and it looks like you're going to win pretty comfortably. Would we pick up Jalen Williams? Do we have any indication as to when he'll be back?
I don't think so.
I haven't heard anything off the top of my head.
No.
No.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Oh no. Yeah. Okay. See, last update we got on him was February 19th, and saying that he'd be out at least 2 more weeks. So like we're due for a reevaluation soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, would I drop either of those 3 guys for him? Tentatively, Larson's playing really well. I don't know how much I trust it. I think Potter will continue doing what he's doing. Turner, I don't know, man. It's just so bad sometimes. I don't even know what to think about him. I don't hate the idea of doing that, but I don't know. Do you feel like you would have to get a hold of Jalen Williams if you're in this situation?
I don't think so. I mean, if it looks like you're going to win your playoff match, your team is obviously fairly good. Like you're in a position to know that you're going to win. So your team is okay. Larson's been playing really well. Potter, I mean, his fantasy game isn't super sort of translatable. He gets you some points and threes, a couple of rebounds. Turner, I find it hard to drop Turner, but that's more of I think I know what Turner can do situation than I'm confident he's actually going to do it, because the return of Giannis certainly doesn't help him at all. But in saying that, I mean, we don't have an update on Jalen Williams. This is a recurring injury for him, so he's going to come back. He'll be limited. He almost certainly won't play back-to-backs for the rest of the regular season, maybe just before the playoffs, but there's no back-to-backs in the playoffs, so they don't need to get him playing back-to-backs or anything like that. So I'd probably be okay. I think I'd just sit with your team, and if Potter or Larson does cool off, you just treat that spot as a streaming spot. Okay, if we had to drop 2 of these players, if you had to drop 2, so Alex Sarr, Kobe White, Miles Turner, Ty Jerome on a bye week, looking to consolidate my roster for next week. Who are we dropping there? So that Miles Turner popping up again. Sarr, I mean, going back to Washington, I suppose. Do we think Sarr's coming back? I honestly don't know. I don't know.
I don't know either. I mean, he was deemed week to week in late February, and that's not good. I mean, it's a hamstring injury. As much as I hate it, I'd probably be fine dropping him if you want to. And I like Kobe White a lot. He's played 3 games, with the Hornets, and he hasn't crossed more than 21 minutes. They're playing so well. They had been playing so well when he wasn't there. And he's not going to play tonight because of the calf management. So is he even going to play every single game? Kind of seems doubtful. Obviously, Jerome's annoying because who knows, like on any given night, if he's going to play. It seems like he's over this, or soon going to be over this thigh issue. Questionable tonight against the Timberwolves. Maybe there's a little more stability there. I think I would mostly be fine dropping Sarr and Kobe White.
Yeah, I think so. I think, and even Ty Jerome, honestly, I'd be okay moving on from. I think Turner again, just at least he has a role. At least he's playing on a team that's trying to win. So
he is playing NBA games.
He is, and he does have the blocks upside. So even on a really poor night where he gets 5 points and 4 rebounds, he can still get you 3 or 4 blocks. So I'd probably be holding him. Surprised not many are talking about a men's ankle injury. Are we on a panic meter right now? Already have J-Dub, Denny, and Tatum stashed. And only have 2 IL spots. So I didn't see a men's ankle injury. I had to take my son to the doctor when towards the back end of the Rockets game yesterday. I know he left the game. Hasn't been much of an update. Did you happen to see it? Was it an acute kind of injury? Like, did he actually roll his ankle? Did we see him do that? Or was this more of a soreness kind of just take me out?
I'm looking for it right now. I have it, but I don't know if I'll see it in time. Let's see here. It looks like he stepped weird on someone. Yeah, I mean, it's tough because the thing about ankle injuries is just like guys can be out. It can look bad. Like we've had guys like hobble off the court,
Mm.
like helped off the court due to an ankle injury that looks bad, and then they're back like a day later. Um, yeah, I haven't seen a good angle of it, so I'm not sure yet. We don't have an update on how long he's
Okay.
out.
Yeah, look, I wouldn't be panicking. I feel as though we probably would have got some sort of an update if this was going to be a week, sort of weeks rather than days or day to day kind of thing. So not panicking yet. And the Rockets, honestly, they need him out there. They're not playing super well at the moment. They're struggling a little bit there. I worry about their center depth because Clint Capella looks so washed. He comes on, he plays 12, 13 minutes. He just does nothing. It's without Steven Adams there, they're going to struggle, I think. So, yeah, I think they would love to have a man out there. So I'm not panicking right now, but let's see if they come out with some news in the next day or two. Pulled the trigger and traded Fox and Collier for Derek White. Yeah, I think we had this question yesterday. I think you sort of asked Kieran and I our thoughts on this trade, and we both agreed that grabbing Derek White here would be the move. We were okay with that. Fox has been pretty bad, and there's not really scope for him getting better other than just playing better. I mean, the Spurs are, unless there's an injury and maybe he plays a bit more, but he's already starting. So, and Collier, he's been good, but his assists only. The Jazz are a little bit unpredictable. So we were both okay with Derek White. Do you agree there?
Yeah, I'm fine with this deal. I really am sort of unsure how the Jazz will be dealing with like Collier's minutes now that Keontae George is back. Last night, for what it's worth, he only played 20 minutes. Second straight game coming off the bench, 10 points, 6 assists. Yeah, I think this is fine. I mean, especially this time of year, the amount of streamers that you can get your hands on is just ridiculous. Earlier in the year, I may have not liked this trade as much because there's just not as many options on the waiver wire, and you're in a 14-team league, which is a pretty deep league. I might have valued the depth, but at this point, White is about as stable as he gets, and there's any given night, there's guys you can stream in for 1 or 2 spots.
Yeah, you have to remember as you get into the playoffs, there's less teams attacking the waiver wire, so
yeah,
theoretically there should be more options for you with only 8 or 6 or 4 teams hunting around. 10-team Roto League. I need rebounds, field goals, and some blocks. So I need big men, obviously. Thinking of dropping Najee Marshall for Moussa Diabate or Jakob Poeltl. Who would be my best longer-term option? Najee out again. Fairly certain. He's out, isn't he?
Yes.
Yep. 10-team. Who would we rather?
I think I'd probably just rather have Diabate. I mean, I think Poeltl should probably be picked up in most standard leagues, but
yeah,
I mean, Diabate has been excellent for weeks and weeks, and clearly, like, I don't think there's any sort of I'm not worried about Kalkbrenner at all, at all. Like, I think this Diabate thing is completely real.
Yeah, I think Poeltl, you could probably argue, has higher upside. We've seen him sort of put up top 40 numbers in the past if he gets those blocks back up. But yeah, I think I'd probably go Diabate as well. I think he's just been really good for a long time now, and the Hornets are winning. Obviously, the Raptors are winning too, but they've shown that they can win without Poeltl. So that there'll be nights where they maybe take their foot off the gas a little bit with him, and who knows, this back injury could flare up again at some point. So I think I'd go the safer route here with Diabate. 4 and 6. Okay. Generally speaking, head-to-head leagues, let's say it's kind of a standard 12-team league. Guy Santos or Filipowski? Who would we rather there?
Interesting. I mean, for context, Filipowski has started 6 straight. averaging 15, 7, and 3 with 2.5 steals. That's not real. It might be Filipowski, but because I think Filipowski might get there by like volume of stats, and just minutes in general. While Santos has been amazing, by the way. I mean, I don't want to disparage what Santos has done. There's a reason this is a question, which is that Santos has been fantastic. Yeah. But I feel like he might be shooting a little bit over his head. I don't know. I don't know if one of these guys is like really safer than the other. You could probably make the argument that Santos is safer because of like there's no risk of him not playing to tank. But I also don't know if Filipowski's a rest risk, Yeah.
It's a tough one actually. I guess the eventual return, as we talked about earlier, the return of Steph Curry can impact everyone on that Warriors team. But
yeah,
and Santos did move to the bench last night, but still played 30 minutes. So I think the role is still there for him. Filipowski, as you said, I mean, if they do accidentally win a couple of games, do they decide to just pull him out of the lineup for a week? They did sign Mo Bamba as well.
Yeah, they did. And which they played Oscar Tshiebwe I think last night. They played him like 18 minutes or something. And
yeah, I think I said it was probably 2 weeks ago. I said keep an eye on Tshiebwe, and then they went and signed Mo Bamba. But I said Tshiebwe is interesting. I'm not saying he's a good player that's going to help them win games, but he's a very good rebounder. So if he does step into some sort of a role, so let's go with Santos. Just pretty close though. Yeah. Another Santos question: Guy or Oubre? I think I'll go Santos there.
I think I would go Santos as well. I mean, Oubre has played pretty well, but I expect he's kind of turned into a steals and threes guy. Occasionally pops for a big rebound game, but I think I would just feel safer with Santos. I mean, honestly, it feels like there are fewer people who are going to take Santos minutes. Like Oubre's role has been pretty stable. I don't want to say he's in some crazy volatile role, but there's always a chance that Quentin Grimes is just cooking, or VJ Edgecombe, or one of the other forwards that they have is just having a good night. And they're surrounded. I mean, Oubre's surrounded by so many other high usage players. Yeah, I would probably feel a little bit safer with Santos at this point.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I'm just looking at Paul George. I'm just seeing when he's back. So he's 13 games into his 25-game suspension. And this is more of a question if your playoffs do go, if you're looking long-term here, Paul George will return and impact Oubre, but probably not for another month yet. So
I think March 25th is maybe his first potential game back.
Yeah, that could be about right. That's about 3 weeks from now. So, yeah, we're probably looking around that time. So, if your playoffs don't start for 2 weeks, and sort of the 25th of March is around week 2 in your playoffs, then Oubre probably loses some value then. So, I mean, it's sort of thinking really long term, but it is what it is. All right. More of a general kind of question here. And you said you're not in a lot of playoffs because you play a lot of roto leagues. Any specific strategies that you do implement? Like, do you make any changes to your roster once you hit the playoffs at all? Or do you just sort of stay the course with what you've been doing?
Yeah, well, it's harder because you can't make trades, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we got a really good question yesterday on the podcast about this person was they're a free throw percentage team. They want to play free throw percentage. They want to be good at it, but they were rostering Jarris Walker. And I think also Najee Marshall, not a good free throw shooter. And his question was well, do I drop these guys because they don't fit my build and I'm now at risk of losing my playoff matchup because they might kill my free throw percentage? And I had a really hard time with that question because I absolutely think those are two must roster players. At least Jarris Walker is. And to some extent, you have to be more aggressive because you have to win week to week or you're done.
Yep.
I think my strategy would be more try to evaluate for the first 4 days of the week, Monday through Thursday. How's my team looking? Look at my opponent's team a lot more. How are they doing? And then if I have to make a drastic move just to win, I would do it. As opposed to I probably wouldn't do it earlier in the year.
Yeah. I have so many thoughts on playoffs and strategies and what you can be doing. And you're right. Like if generally I'm usually already punting 3, maybe 4 categories. So I can't really change direction too much. And so hopefully the players on my roster all help me where they need to help me. I wouldn't have someone on my team that's going to sort of destroy me in one category. But if that is the case, I would sort of, if this is a head-to-head league, which obviously it is if you're in the playoffs, I would talk to your commissioner. This is where I think you can benefit from having a games cap in a head-to-head league, because if free throw percentage, we'll use that as an example, is a close category. If it looks like it's going to come down to free throw percentage and you have a games cap, you don't necessarily have to go and drop someone like a Najee Marshall. You could just not play them. You could just have someone else in there, leave them, almost treat that spot. Because if you have 4 games, a 4-game cap per position, you might have sort of 10 games leeway there where you can rest players. And so you just don't play Najee Marshall for a couple of games or something like that. So that's where I think having a games cap can help. It means you don't have to be as, I guess, cutthroat when it comes to managing those categories, because you'll have other players that can fill in. If I need steals, should I drop Claxton for Conchar?
I can't believe John Conchar is back.
He didn't get any steals yesterday. I'm fairly certain, because I streamed him in a couple of leagues. He got a couple of blocks, I think, but
he's definitely a steals guy. Just to make that clear, like his entire career, he's been a steals guy. I don't think it's like a fluke necessarily, but I think my opinion is that Claxton's too good to drop.
Yeah, I think so. I think Conchar's role, he was playing 30 minutes there for a bit with Keontae. I mean, they may rest Keontae Jones now because he played far too well yesterday and almost made them win the game. So they may rest Keontae here again. Conchar was really good for he had something like 17 steals in 5 games there. So he is a steals guy, but as you said, I think Claxton is just too good to drop. And based on what we saw last year and even what we've seen this year, I don't think the Nets are going to pull the plug here on Claxton's season. I don't think they're going to rest him. I know he's missed a couple of games with some illness and injuries and things like that, but I think Claxton probably plays the majority of the season here, so I'd hold.
Yeah, I will say this is interesting because this is a roto league. It kind of depends when your league ends. Like if your league ends next week or something, and you think you can make a leap in the steals category, because you have to look at those roto standings. Like, are you 12 steals behind the next guy and you have no chance? Or are you like 6 steals behind, jumping up like 3 spots?
Yeah.
If you have like a week left in your league and that's the difference, I actually probably would do it. But in general, I would still prefer holding Claxton.
And on the flip side there, you might be way ahead in rebounds and blocks.
That's true.
So you can afford to move on from someone like Claxton.
Like I've made plenty of roto trades that people would like hate on the surface because I needed a specific category. Like I traded Jalen Johnson for Kevin Durant earlier in the season. I traded Julius Randle for OG Anunoby because I needed threes and I needed blocks and I needed efficient shooting, or I was never going to be super competitive. And I'm farther up the standings now than I was when I had those guys. So it really comes down to, looking at your standings, seeing where you can make some damage, stuff like that.
Are we picking up Oso Iguodaro considering Mark Williams' minutes drop? I mean, Mark Williams, another player who's been pretty underwhelming. I mean, we knew that he would be managed a little bit. He's been mostly healthy. He hasn't missed many games, but he's just the minutes. He's playing 18, 22, rarely getting into. Has he got it into 30 minutes at all? He probably has.
Maybe like a couple games. Not very much.
No. And what do we think about Iguodaro?
I will quickly say about Iguodaro, like he's been putting up more stats lately than he had been in the beginning of the season, and for him, I think this is I like the idea of picking up Iguodaro because the Suns have a really dense schedule. From this Tuesday through next Tuesday, they have 5 games. They play Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday, Tuesday. So if you pick up Iguodaro, it's just a really good schedule streaming opportunity. Maybe you might not be able to play him on all those days because there's going to be some high volume days in there. But just as like a schedule streamer, I certainly don't mind it.
And I think just looking at his sort of recent numbers here, if you're picking him up, you're really looking at defensive stats. That's what he's doing. He's getting steals, he's getting blocks. Doesn't score a lot. He's pretty efficient when he does score, but just not high volume. Doesn't hit threes. Rebounds are very hit or miss. So he fits a very specific build. But yeah, certainly the minutes are trending up. So I think, and with the 5 games, as you said, in the next 7 days, certainly worth a look. He's added a second name there. PJ Washington, Huff, or Precious Achua? Who do we rather there?
Probably Achua. As much as I hate to say it, I think I would just trust him the most.
Yeah, I think so. PJ's been injured a little bit. I think he's probable for tonight. I think he's been upgraded to probable, but he's been dealing with ankle injuries all season, it feels like. So he'll probably come back for a week and then be out again. So, I'll probably go Achua as well. Is Conchar worth a hold? I don't think he's a hold. I think he's a streamer when the schedule sort of favors him. But beyond that, he's not good enough that you have to hold him. All right, let's get through there. I didn't think we'd get this many questions, so
it's good. I mean, people are hyped about the playoffs, man. I mean, this is an important time of year.
Yeah. Well, as I said, this is why I did the show. I think it's easier to talk about it than write answers all day.
This would take us 4 hours if we had to write out all of our answers.
Yeah.
Not as good.
Okay. Couple of names we have discussed, but a couple we haven't as well. To open up a streaming spot, who would we drop here? Santos, Kamara, Gigi, Black. I'm not dropping Santos. We've sort of made that. We're both relatively high on him for the rest of the season. I don't think I'm dropping Black yet. I know he has been out for a couple of games, but he's been good all season. I know Franz will return at some point, but I think I'd be holding Anthony Black. Yeah. So it would be one of those other two. Kamara, just in general, do you think he's someone that you have to hold in a 12-team league? Because I think maybe you don't.
I don't think so. He's been good lately, but good as in like past 30 days, 70th in total 8 cat, which is like fine. And I think we kind of know his limitations at this point, knows what he's good at, what he's not. I know Denny's out, the Abdia thing, like that's going to be, I think, an issue all year, but Kamara's not somebody who like really scales up his usage when someone's out. So I think out of that group, I'd drop Kamara.
Another Denver one. Do you have a preference for Aaron Gordon or Peyton Watson? If they're both available, you have a sort of an IL spot that you can stash them in. Who would you prefer? I think I'd prefer Watson.
I'm the other way, actually. I prefer Gordon, but I think Gordon's more of a health risk,
That's why I would go Watson.
Yeah.
Because I think Aaron Gordon has had this injury forever, since last year. So that's why I would go Watson, just because I think his ramp up might be a little bit quicker, potentially.
Yeah. I'm totally fine with that. Like, I think it depends what you're going for. Like, if you need pure upside and Watson might be on your bench a bunch anyway, maybe I would go with Gordon, but it's close, like for that exact reason.
Tari Eason. Thought we'd have more questions about him. Are we worried about his production rest of season? He's been fairly ordinary the last, as long as I can remember, maybe the last month. But the role is there. He's starting, other than last night where for whatever reason he felt the need to push Jameer Watkins, I think it was. He just barreled into him. I don't know what Watkins said to him. But got himself ejected. But outside of that performance, the minutes have been there, the role is there. He's just shooting the ball woefully at the moment. So do you see him as someone that you have to continue to roster, or are you okay moving on from him?
I think generally speaking, I'm okay moving on, especially if you don't need rebounds, if you don't need steals or blocks, because that's kind of like at the end of the day, that's what you're really getting with Tari Eason is like rebounding, steals, and blocks, and then everything else is just kind of extra. So if you don't need those things, I'm totally fine dropping him. And even if you do need those things, at this point, I think a streaming spot would be similarly valuable.
Here we go. Our resident Milwaukee fan. What are your thoughts on Ousmane Dieng? Do you think that he may take value away from Miles Turner with Giannis back? I guess. I mean, would you? Yeah. I mean, where do you see Dieng? Because he was really good there for a little bit, but didn't think it was sustainable. But he played a bit yesterday. So what do you think about him?
Very, very predictable 0-point performance after he had double digits in 3 straight games. But yeah, started. I don't want to bury the lead because he started and played 30 minutes last night in a blowout loss, by the way, to the Boston Celtics. I don't believe that Dieng is really going to challenge Turner for minutes. They don't really play the same position. I mean, I guess there's always a chance they start playing Giannis more at center and they go small, but they really need Turner for his floor spacing next to Giannis.
Yep.
Dieng's not. He's shooting well this season from 3. I don't necessarily trust it. I'm just not an Ousmane Dieng like optimist. I know a lot of people are. I'm just not that guy, and I know Turner's not great, but he just has such longer of a track record, and he kind of fits what the Bucks are doing, even if he's underwhelming.
Yep, agreed. No, it does not mean you should pick up Obi Toppin just because I'm wearing an Obi Toppin jersey. It was just what I pulled out of the drawer this morning.
That's a deep cut, though. Obi Toppin jersey.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I like. Yeah, I mean, when I was visiting certain cities, I like to get jerseys and shirts of obscure players because here in Australia we're pretty limited to what we can get. It's the superstars or nothing. So
right,
I figure while I'm there, I'll get some players I won't be able to get here.
I was playing basketball yesterday, and one of the guys we were playing with had a Ben Gordon Bulls jersey. I was like, this is crazy. Well, I love this poll. Yeah.
My brother just ordered from the US a Grady Dick jersey just because he wants to wear a Dick jersey. No other reason. He does like Toronto, to be fair. GG Jackson, Micah Potter, are they both must roster players?
I think Jackson definitely is.
Yeah.
Potter probably is. He's not going to continue shooting 48% from 3, but he's in the NBA to do one thing, and that's shoot threes. So he's good at that. And he's been playing so well lately with consistent minutes. I would say GG Jackson's a must roster, and Potter's more of like I would just hang on to him until he cools off.
All right, let's get through. Yeah, I need to go and have breakfast. Well, here's a trade question. I got offered LeBron and Rollins for Jalen Johnson. Would drop, involve Milton. Would get one more game from both players respectively, except first playoff week, manager offering has a bye. Gee, still doing trades in the playoffs. That's interesting. Would you move off Jalen Johnson to get 2 extra games in the playoffs of LeBron and Rollins? I mean, Rollins came off the bench, Doc Rivers masterclass last night. So sure, I don't know.
That worries me.
Yeah,
I might. In these situations, I would certainly check the schedule because you want to make sure if you do this trade that you're actually getting like. I'm sure. I mean, you would start LeBron pretty much under any circumstance. Like, I don't really imagine LeBron being on your bench because someone has a better opportunity from him on a given day. Yeah. But I don't think you want to do this deal if, like, okay, now I'm starting LeBron and Ryan Rollins, and then someone else who's also really good is on my bench now. You know what I mean? Like, as opposed to starting the best player in Jalen Johnson and then still having like good streamers or another guy on my bench who I can. So I would want to know, like, is your bench good? Before I would pull the trigger on that.
Yeah, I would look at, as you said, I would look at how many games, like what are the high volume days in the coming week, 2 weeks. So, for example, next Tuesday is an 11-game slate, so there's a decent chance you're going to have to pick that day. You're going to have to make some sit-start decisions. Thursday has 9 games. It's actually a pretty balanced schedule next week: 11, 6, 9, 8, 7, 7. So there could be 1 or 2 days there, as you said, where yes, you have these extra games, but are you actually, who are you resting to start them, sort of thing. So there's obviously a lot that goes into it at this time of year. Another playoff trade. Well, okay, yeah, playoffs haven't started yet. They start next week. Trade Devin Booker for Şengün or a men. 9 cat punting blocks.
I mean, if you're punting blocks, I don't think I would be trading for either of Amen or Şengün.
No, I don't think so. I guess the concern there is that Booker has been pretty banged up the last little bit. So how many games is he going to play? Are they going to manage him at all? But Amen is potentially injured at the moment, as we said earlier anyway. Yeah, I think I'd hold Booker there if you're punting blocks. All right, let's find 1 or 2 more. See if there's any players we haven't talked about. There's one for you from Matt Carmody. Who's been worse this year, Miles Turner or Doc Rivers?
That's actually a really good question. I think maybe you could argue that Doc Rivers is making Miles Turner bad, so I think by default you probably have to go Doc Rivers.
Yeah, okay, I'll go Doc Rivers. All right. Look, I mean, you need a bit of context probably with this question, but is Pascal Siakam a drop?
Yeah, I don't know, man. It'd be hard for me to pull the trigger on that.
Yeah, unless, if you're in the playoffs now, maybe you have to make that call. A little bit like with Steph Curry to some degree. I mean, at least we have a bit of a timeline on Steph Curry. We have nothing on Siakam, other than he's out with a wrist injury. He has been doubtful, then ruled out, so that maybe that indicates that he's more day to day than week to week. But it's also the Pacers who really don't want to win. So, yeah, I think context here. If you've only got, like, if you're in your playoffs and you need to win right now, I might drop him. But if you've got a bit of time on your hands, he's too good to just let go for nothing. Oh, we had a green one down here. Thank you for the content. That's why we're here. Isaiah Stewart question. Let's finish with an Isaiah Stewart question. So he is back. He has served his suspension. If I need blocks, rebounds, and field goal percentage, need to boost steals and blocks, would drop Hartenstein, Lopez, Huff, Pirtle. So who would I drop there? Well, I mean, first of all, is Isaiah Stewart a must-roster player? I don't think he is. I would argue he's not even that good in rebounds or field goal percentage. Blocks, yes, but those other categories, he's not great as long as Duren is healthy. Would I drop any of those guys? I wouldn't drop Pirtle. I don't think I'd drop Hartenstein. Lopez, I don't know. What are you doing with Brook Lopez? I thought Yannick had a really good game last night. Only played 22 minutes or whatever he's been doing, but I like the look of him. I'd be intrigued to see him play a sort of 28-minute a night role. I don't know if the Clippers are actually going to let him or get him to that point. But Lopez hasn't done a lot, which is not surprising. He's like 50 years old. So would you consider moving off Brook Lopez for Isaiah Stewart, because Lopez also is not a great rebounder or field goal percentage guy. They're both blocks only.
Yeah, the only guy I would consider probably dropping here is Lopez. Huff is too good of a shot blocker, I think, to let go in this scenario. I would consider dropping Lopez for Stewart, but I don't think you have to.
Yeah.
Like you alluded to, Stewart, when he is Jalen Duren's backup. Like when Jalen Duren's available, he's Stewart. It doesn't matter how good his block rate is or his rebound rate. Like if he's only going to play 19 minutes a game, there's only so much upside to be had.
All right, and let's scroll right to the bottom. Let's see if we've got. All right, we'll finish on Mark Williams. Would you pick up Mark Williams if he was dropped? Playoffs start in 2 weeks.
I don't think you have to. And really, I think it's just for people who need big man stats desperately. If you don't need that, then you don't have to.
No. He's really rebounds some field goal percentage because he's not a high shot blocker either. So yeah, I think rebounds, field goal percentage. All right, we will get out of here. Thanks for all the questions. There were a whole heap that we didn't get to, but I will be. Well, the plan is that I will be doing one of these shows every day. So same time tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern. It might just be me. I might have someone on the show. I'll figure that out today. But if you dropped a question in there and I didn't get to it, I will be back tomorrow same time. So try and get the questions in early. We get to those ones first and then sort of scroll down a bit. So thank you, Alex, for coming on. What's happening over at RotoWire? It's business as usual, I know, but where can people find you and everything that you're doing?
Yeah, as always, I mean, check out RotoWire, rotowire.com/basketball for all your NBA needs. I mean, eventually we'll start getting into like draft content, like 2026 NBA draft content. But yeah, on Twitter, follow me at Barutha Alex. I will do my best, to answer your questions if you have them. And I put out a thread every day of most added players on Yahoo with some analysis. I try to do schedule updates, stuff like that, panic meters. Try to get discussion in the comments, get people talking a little bit more about fantasy basketball.
Yep. Follow Alex and all the RotoWire guys. Kieran, who I had on yesterday as well, and I'll be back on with him in a couple of days on the RotoWire Q&A. And yeah, hopefully back tomorrow. Assuming everything goes well with my afternoon endeavors and I'm not too sore in the morning, I will be up to record another show. So thank you again. He is Alex Barutha. I am Adam King. This has been Stuff It, a fantasy basketball podcast. We are done.
You don't know where I've been, what's going on inside, where the monsters like to come alive.